Good evening. My name is Awori Brittany, and I'm going to present a project on global warming, a problem of global warming, how it can be controlled using artificial intelligence. Global warming is a gradual increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, generally attributed to the greenhouse effect caused by increased levels of carbon dioxide and other pollutants. Some of the reasons why global warming needs to be controlled is because it has led to a decline in water supplies, reduced agricultural yields, and has triggered health-related impacts in cities. This warming climate also increases public health challenges like heat, aggravated illnesses, plus increase in vector-borne diseases. This rise in temperatures can also worsen air pollution by increasing ground level ozone smog, which is created from pollution from cars, factories, and other sources that react to sunlight and heat. And more so, dirtier air is linked to higher death rates and admission rates of asthmatics. It can also worsen the health of people suffering from cardiac or pulmonary disease. How artificial intelligence will be applied in solving this global warming. Artificial intelligence can be applied through the use of Electricity Map, which was an artificial intelligence powered platform, which displays the cleanness of electricity from across the world, facilitating the carbon footprint of data from the past, present, and even the forecasted electricity by organizing it by country. By collaborating with this platform, Google has coordinated competing tasks with low carbon electricity supply in the grid, and as a result has cut down the carbon dioxide emissions caused by consumption of electricity. Also, the way AI is applied in solving global warming, it powers personalized tools to estimate an individual's carbon footprint or making recommendations for environmental friendly purchases. Estimating carbon footprints enables us to identify the major sources of emission and find ways to minimize them. Point to note, an individual's carbon footprint has a negative impact on the environment in multiple ways. It's the main cause of human-induced climate change, and it contributes to urban pollution. It leads to toxic acid rain. It adds to coastal and ocean acidification and worsens the melting of glaciers and polar ice. Another way through which AI can be applied, artificial intelligence can be applied to solving global warming is through the fuel efficient routing feature. Now, this feature has been introduced in Canada and the US, and it has worked very well in controlling the emission of carbon emissions in the atmosphere. It has helped optimize their routes for fuel efficiency. And in this case, the artificial intelligence identifies all the viable routes that one could take from a particular place to another area, and it calculates the fuel usage for each route going to be taken. This in turn will help reduce nearly 3/4 of transportation carbon emissions that vehicles on the road can account for. Each liter of fuel burnt in a car engine emits over 2.5 kilograms of carbon dioxide. So with this feature, you can be able to calculate the fuel usage and help reduce the emissions. Types of data that can be used in AI to solve global warming. We can use text. Here, data on identifying harmful emissions and their pressure points in the supply chain processes can help reduce the use of fossil fuels for electricity generation. These two on satellite, geographical, and climate data can help in predicting solar or wind energy levels to optimize the electricity generation. Optimizing electricity generation reduces both the amount of fuel needed to generate electricity and the amount of greenhouse gases and other air pollutants emitted as a result. Researchers are using also text in a way, and they're using it to researchers are using climate models and machine learning algorithms to estimate how much carbon dioxide can be emitted while still remaining within a given climate goal. And with knowing this, we're able to come out with solutions that can help mitigate global warming. Can also use the numerical analysis. Here, numerical analysis, we're using the fuel analysis approach. Based on information available on the characteristics of fuel being consumed, one can come up with appropriate equations that can be used to calculate the emissions. Emissions are calculated as the mass of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, and many other greenhouse gases. The equations include emissions you can get the mass or volume of the fuel combusted, that is carbon dioxide, methane, or nitrous oxide, and multiplied by the emissions factor per unit mass or volume. Or you can use the mass or volume of fuel combusted multiplied by the emissions factor per unit mass or volume, and also multiplied by the fuel heat content. The fuel content will be got by subtracting the units of energy per unit mass or volume from the higher heating value. Differences between supervised and unsupervised learning. Some of these are learning techniques in machine learning, which you can use to help build a model that can be used to help climate change mitigation. Here, supervised learning, input data is labeled, while in unsupervised learning, input data is unlabeled. Supervised learning, there's a feedback mechanism, while in unsupervised learning, there's no feedback mechanism. And supervised learning, data is classified based on the training data set. And in supervised learning, data is assigned properties to classify it. In supervised learning, it's divided into regression and classification. And in unsupervised learning, it's divided into clustering and association. Supervised learning is mainly used for prediction, while unsupervised learning is mainly used for analysis. The algorithms used in supervised learning include decision trees, logistic regression, support vector machines, random trees, and many others. While in unsupervised learning, we have algorithms that include k-means clustering, hierarchical clustering, and a priori algorithm. And in unsupervised learning, there are a number of known classes, while in unsupervised learning, there's an unknown number of classes used. Supervised learning has a number of techniques that one can use, but I chose the best two I could see and I could work with. There's regression, and this technique will be used to predict the different weather patterns. So since we are trying to control global warming, this technique will enable us to obtain forecasts of the carbon intensity and total carbon dioxide emissions. Knowing this, we shall be able to come up with effective ways to help mitigate global warming. Another technique I saw that would be fit was classification, because it enables us to classify the data. Different researchers, observers come up with different kind of data to help solve global warming. So this helps us to understand and identify group data and put them into different categories and see how each of them can be used to solve global warming. Then unsupervised learning also has a number of techniques, but I found the best two I could use. There was hierarchical clustering. Here, different areas or countries are grouped differently according to their different greenhouse emission characteristics, sources, and causes. Comparison of those emissions is then carried out among these countries, and based on the results got, they enable the different areas of countries share the burden of mitigation to support emission reduction efforts. So countries with a high emission can work together to solve to help find solutions to controlling global warming, carbon emissions into the atmosphere, air pollution, and so forth. Then we have anomaly detection. This technique enables us to identify the different anomalies in climate more so the rise and fall in temperatures, since global warming is basically causes warmth. It is a warming climate. Yeah. Then artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence, we working with artificial intelligence, there are a number of technical challenges that can be faced. Here, cybersecurity is one of them. Artificial intelligence provides us with lots of benefits. It also creates new vulnerabilities for attack. So criminals can use this artificial intelligence against themselves and start causing system malfunctions or getting access to systems that they have no permission to. So this can cause different glitches or faults in the system, and it can disrupt the roles, the predicted roles of the system. Data privacy is also one of the issues you can face, technical challenges you can face. It's one of the most critical issues in artificial intelligence. Currently, there are no federal regulations that can protect one's privacy rights in this technology. So the process of using your artificial intelligence system to perform a specific function for you, it might collect data about you without you knowing it, and it will be able to operate on your behalf. So this is one of the challenges can face during construction of the model. There's also algorithmic bias. Artificial intelligence algorithms are developed from the data that is fed to them. So if a large number of examples in the learning process are from a certain group, then the algorithm will develop a bias towards other groups. This algorithm bias is one of the biggest challenges of artificial intelligence because it can be potentially harmful in systems, especially those governing critical infrastructures like now traffic transporting sector. We have a number of solutions to the artificial intelligence technical challenges. So cybersecurity can be overcome by using a security-first cloud strategy that includes continuous security testing and verification to ensure that all the artificial intelligence systems built are secure from all threats, including viruses and malware. Data privacy, this can be resolved by isolating sensitive data and ensuring that it is only accessible to a particular system it needs to be accessed by, like having a backup for it, a backup for the data in case of anything. Also, these techniques, you can use the techniques like homomorphic encryption to keep your information private and secure while sending them over a network. Algorithmic bias, this can be resolved by creating an ensemble model. This can be done by combining the algorithms trained on smaller data sets and using them as training data for the larger ensemble model. By using this approach, one can create a more robust model. A model is considered robust if its output and forecast are consistently accurate, even if one or more of the input variables are drastically changed due to unforeseen circumstances. Here, we're going to talk about the differences between accuracy, recall, precision, and F1 score. These four are basically performance evaluation matrices. They used to measure the performance of one's models. Accuracy is the ratio of correctly predicted observations to the total observations. Precision is the ratio of correctly predicted observations to the total predictive positive observations. Recall is the ratio of correctly predicted positive observations to all the observations in the actual positive class. F1 score is the weighted average of precision and recall. F1 score is the combination of both precision and recall. Yes. So with those four evaluation metrics, I was able to choose those that are most appropriate for my project. I'm going to work with accuracy because with this I'll be able to determine the ratio of correctly predicted observations in terms of areas which were predicted to experience a high rate of carbon dioxide emissions and those predicted to have a low rate of carbon emission to the total observations made. With precision, with this, I'll be able to determine the areas that were actually affected by the high rate of carbon dioxide emissions to all the areas that were labeled with a high rate of carbon emissions. Yes. Relevant references to my work. To get more information about this, you can go to the Journal of Environmental Chemical Engineering by W.C. Leong, or Earth Science Reviews Volume 190, March 2019, pages 310 to 322. Zeng H. 2018 Analysis of Global Warming using Machine Learning, Computational Water Energy and Environmental Engineering, Volume 7, 127 to 141. Climate Change and Artificial Intelligence, Recommendations for Government by David Roynick, McGill University, and Miller, Canada. Lynn H. Kirk-Harty School, Germany. Or you can go to Russell, S.J. and Novik P. Artificial Intelligence, a Modern Approach. Hello, Pearson Education Limited. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.